This is Elena Swartz on November 3rd, completing my Module 4 application activity. The first macromolecule I will talk about is aldosterone. Aldosterone is a hormone synthesized from cholesterol in the zona glomerulosa, which is in the outermost layer in the kidneys. So synthesis begins by cholesterol in the cytoplasm being transported into the inner mitochondrial membrane through the steroidogenic acute regulatory protein, or STAR protein. So in the inner mitochondrial membrane, cholesterol is converted into pregnenolone, which is then transported over to the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Pregnenolone is then converted into progesterone. Progesterone stays in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and is converted into 11-deoxycorticosterone. This is then transported back to the inner mitochondrial membrane. The 11-deoxycorticosterone is transported into just corticosterone. Corticosterone is then eventually converted into aldosterone. So aldosterone cannot be stored in a vesicle due to being a lipid soluble. So it diffuses passively into the cytoplasm through the plasma membrane into the bloodstream. It binds with transport proteins like albumin and transported to the kidney tubule for maintaining water balance. The next macromolecule I looked into is follicle-stimulating hormone. Follicle-stimulating hormone is a glycoprotein that is synthesized in the anterior pituitary gland by gonadotrophs. So the synthesis of follicle-stimulating hormone begins in the nucleus, with alpha and beta subunits being transcribed into mRNA. This mRNA is then transported over to ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The mRNA is then translated into FSH alpha and beta subunit polypeptides. The polypeptides are then transported over to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, where the polypeptides are folded into heterodimer proteins. Once done in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, vesicles bud off the reticulum and transport to the Golgi apparatus along the cytoskeleton. So in the Golgi apparatus, the polypeptides are glycosylated by adding sugar molecules, which is essential to completing protein folding and making the macromolecules stable. The hormone is completed and packaged into secretory vesicles, where it is stored until gonadotropin releasing hormone stimulates the fusing of the plasma membrane, which causes exocytosis into the bloodstream, which allows follicle-stimulating hormone to act on our reproduction organs. Okay, and the last macromolecule I looked into is actin. Actin is a major protein component of the cytoskeleton that forms microfilaments. So the synthesis of actin begins in the nucleus with transcription of several actin genes into mRNA. Okay, travels through the cytoplasm onto a free ribosome not attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. So the mRNA binds to the ribosome. It is translated into an actin monomer called G-actin, which you see right here. It is then folded with the use of chaperone proteins. Actin does not need a vesicle to transport through the cell, so it typically transports binded to an actin binding protein such as profilin to prevent early polymerization. The monomers are then incorporated into filaments F-actin, which we see down here at the bottom. The F-actin comes together with a plus barbed end and a pointed minus end. G monomers are added at the plus end, and they are taken away at the minus end through hydrolyzation. This occurs at the same time, so it is considered treadmilling. Once filament is formed, it is used for intracellular transport of vesicles or organelles, and it is most concentrated in the cell cortex.